this, buy that, pay for this, pay for that, print this, print that, go and write this, go and write that, submit this, submit that, assignments left and right. Oh, this final year is really, really tasking, and no one really prepares for this phase of academic journey. We expected this, but we don't expect this much of a stress. Oh, sorry. I forgot myself for a moment, but then I just have to let that out. Now, let's go into the show properly. Welcome everyone to another episode of Last Days in Uni, a space for final year students to speak their mind on what truly matters to them. And I am Abdulhamid Alabi Adeyemo, an exceptional masterpiece of alcoholic, the best of creators. Our finalist guest on today's episode of Last Days in Uni is yet another person who disappointed many students. How? He was expected to run for a particular office, to be specific, the deputy, but he fell into the talk of some people and run for the head, but he was sent back home. Nevertheless, he is an academically upright student who is one of the best in not only his department but in his college. Additionally, he is a senator at the Student Representative Assembly. I am joined on this episode by Samuel Ismaila, popularly known as SAMWISE.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
It's
It's nice having you on the show.
senior and
And I thank you for helping our association. This is FOSU, Association of FOSU. What? Federal? Is it Federal? Okay, Federation of Oyo State Students Union. And this was our cultural clothes
Yes.
last. That's
so, thank you very much.
it's good having you here.
Let me cover the fact that you said actually I disappoint many people or not imagine.
Don't worry, you are coming there.
So
We get there. you have enough time to talk about that.
all right.
So let me start. I want to start from your name, but there are two aspects to your name that I want us to treat.
Okay.
The first one is that your surname is Ismaila, and that is, of course, a Muslim name, but you Samuel, a Christian name, and you are practicing Christian. So I want you to tell us how probably you became Christian or what happened, and then your nickname, which is Samwise, how it came to be.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much, sir. Let me correct that dispute on the name Ismaila Samuel. So the Ismaila was my great grandfather's name.
Okay.
We are from a Muslim background. So, but my father was a convert into the Christian home at I think 1990. So he became a Christian, and then I've been working in that line of faith. So I was born into a Christian home, and then I've been living through that belief, and then God has been helping me so far to live that upright life. And then so Ismaila was not like I was a Muslim and then I became a Christian,
I get
but
it.
I was born into a house of a believer, but the convert was through my dad. But we still keep that name Ismaila as a testament of that faith that okay, this is somebody that God has redeemed to his light.
Oh.
So that is it.
Oh, that's nice.
So and then
Samwise.
the Samwise, okay, it started when I was in secondary school. I was given the name, and then I work in line with the name because in every contribution and in everything, I was this kind of top person that people can look up to.
Definitely.
And then the contribution that I bring up about make people see me as somebody that, oh, this person has something up here that he can offer, and then I've lived up to that standard so that I'm bridging the gap of, okay, I like the fact of one person on the Bible called Daniel. He said Daniel was vast in academic, politics, and then in all administration work. So I feel like even me trying to contribute to all aspects, and people find it like, how could I be able to manage other areas of life, meeting with politics, academics,
And some
finances, and everything like that. So it takes somebody that has a epitome of knowledge to actually work in that dimension. So, and that name surfaced from, okay, this is Samuel, a prophet of God, and then somebody with wisdom. So it comes with that wisdom and Samuel. So that's brought about the name Samwise. So I gave myself that name, and people see that quality of that name, and they know that no, truly, this person is a wise person.
Okay, that was an amazing one. We are from the Department of Animal Breeding and Genetics, and with the look of things, it may not be that you chose that department, ABG. I'm having a feeling that you chose vets from
Uh,
the beginning. So I want you now to talk about it. Did you choose vet from the beginning or ABG? Or
I chose
how did
ABG,
it
and I
okay?
was given admission to ABG. But that was not my first time. The first time I did to FUNAB, I chose veterinary medicine. So, and then by the time I want to do the second jam, I felt like, okay, just choose a course maybe, and then you can transfer back to vet and do what you want to do. And then I choose ABG as, okay, it's very closer to vet,
Vets.
it's still in animal line. And then I choose it, and I was given admission. So, and then coming to ABG, it didn't look like it would be ABG that will stay in ABG.
Hmm.
But with years, I start to learn about something. And so one thing that held me back in ABG was that number one, my academic progress. And then number two, when we are in 200 level, the main rule was that, or the protocol was that when you get to 200 level, you can transfer to veterinary medicine.
Is it 200 or 300?
200 level then. So, but
Okay.
when we get to 200 level during our set, things change.
Change it.
And then we have to be 300 level before we can transfer
And
back.
then you have to go back to
Go back to
200
200
level when
level.
you get
But
to
when I
that.
look at all those stress and look at money, look at time and age and everything, I decided that, and then people advice. I begin to speak to people about what the department entails, because when you don't know what the department entails, you can make some rough decisions for yourself. And I begin to ask around, what is this? What is this? I started joining some association like animal welfare. I begin to join some things that are related to animals so that I can know the deep depth of animal breeding and genetics. So that is how my journey has been. It's not that the admission I got was like I choose veterinary medicine. I did not choose veterinary. I choose animal breeding and genetics. But I've done jam that I choose veterinary medicine, but I was not given admission that year.
Okay, okay, right. It's clarified now. Now that department, ABG, animal breeding and genetics, how has it been for you so far?
Actually, the department has been a lovely one for me. I think I've learned, I've unlearned, and I'm still learning. The department, because the department, let me say, is the most advanced and then future perspective department in the College of Animal Science. When I say is that others deals with things that are now, let me look at animal production and health. They actually do only with production. They actually do with things just food consumption and
And
everything.
right.
Animal nutrition is based on what animal can eat and everything. But animal breeding and genetics is about improving animal, improving livestock, and then it takes more. One thing that surprised me most about animal breeding and genetics is that what most of the things that they teach us, or most of the concepts they use in animal breeding and genetics, is not based on animal. That's the most funniest thing. It was always about human and human and human. They want to teach us on maybe immune system, maternal inheritance, things like that. It was actually based on I being explained on human being. Epistasis, this and this, all those grammars was not majorly on
How?
animal, but they incorporate
That's what
those things into animal so that I would have loved if they've separated this course. Maybe it was biotechnology, human genetics, and everything. Maybe cell biology and genetics. It will have, let me say, picture or place the department on a higher standard rather than just saying animal breeding and genetics. Because most of the concept that we learn is not 100% on animal. It's just, let me say, 20% on animal and 100% on human. So
okay.
it makes the department a little bit headache for some people. But it's a lovely department, and I will give respect to those lecturers. They are the best.
So everyone, of course, everyone will say that their lecturers are the best. So from what you just said, that's the biotechnology and everything else. But I think I've had a few experience with people from ABG, even people before our own set, people who have graduated already. So some of them pride themselves in a biotechnology expert, clinical expert, and not necessarily animal breeding and genetics. And probably because of the point that you also make, that it is more related to those
Yeah.
aspects than even that
Okay.
of the
Let me give you
animal.
an example. I have one of my two mentors in. Let me just give two of my mentors in academics a little bit. my brother has one. He finished from animal production
Yes,
and
in case you
health.
don't know, his brother is Mashal, the former general secretary of FINAPSO.
So, he finished from animal production and health,
And
and is
department.
currently in Russia in Tech,
Yes.
and is doing biotechnology. There's a graduate to Ishola Christina. She finished from animal production and health, and she's currently doing biotechnology. She's a master card scholarship winner, and he finished from animal production and health. But the thing is that if you want to advance or you want to meet global standards, trust me, animal breeding and genetics is the best platform that you can ever enroll to. So I'll give it to that department.
But the ones you just mentioned now, they are from my department. They are product of my department.
Yes,
Animal
yes,
production and
yes.
medicine.
The thing is that I use that.
Mention one from your
I
department.
use that. There are many people.
Mention
Even
one.
okay,
Mention
I
one.
should mention one.
You just
Okay, let me
forget to
use Dr. Drew Saru. He's a lecturer of FNAP, and then he's currently
no, of course, he has become a lecturer. I'm talking about the ones who are in like
student.
our own range,
Okay,
age range. For example, now
okay.
Marshall that you mentioned now,
Okay,
and
the
the
thing
other
is that
person, you know,
the crowd might not
they are
know some of those people because they might not be popular person that they know. But I will give the like of there's this guy JJ in Favor too. Favor
okay.
finished from animal breeding and genetics I think 3 years ago, and is currently doing his masters
Okay.
outside of the country, and then he's a first class student. And then that has given me, and the thing is that animal breeding and genetics is not only biotechnology, they are
Sure.
bioinformatics, they are computational biology, they are cell biology and everything. And the thing is that animal breeding and genetics, you can work with people that are doing biochemistry, you can work with plant
It's
science,
even this with data analysis as
data
well.
analysis, so statistical experimentation and everything are majorly, let me say, advancement in the livestock sectors is from animal breeding and genetics. That's why I love that department.
It's actually an interesting department, to be sincere. EDG is a very interesting department. Although even though I mean I don't want to go there because from the beginning I don't really like things that has to do with genetics, breedings per se. But then I still have no choice. I've been doing ABG courses from 300 level up to this moment, and we are
Even
still
from 200
even from
level.
200 level, and we are still doing it up to this now. So now this is a very important aspect I would love to ask on. A few days ago in one of our classes, we were talking with a friend of mine, Teslima. We were talking with her, and I see you were showing her something on your phone, on YouTube, and it was IELTS videos, the
Yeah.
tutorials and things like that. And me, I'm quite certain that you have your eyes on securing scholarship abroad. So just like Marshall did, and that is why you are doing the IELTS. So just you have an idea of what those things are about already, and you know few things already on how to go about getting scholarship abroad. So in case someone is also interested, but he or she is not aware of how things are being done, so can you just walk us through briefly on securing scholarship abroad and what are the requirements you need to make? For example, the IELTS you were discussing with the slimmers and things like that.
Okay, let me put it now. I'm still in Nigeria,
Of
so
course, I
I've
know.
not
Of course, I
secured a
know.
scholarship, but I will just brief some of those things that we need to know. See, every school abroad or every have their own requirements. Even to enter FUNAB, you need JAM, you need your O
O
level
level.
certificate. So basically, and then I'll correct this stereotype too. So people that are hearing us in the house, it's not scholarship is not meant for only first class student or second class students. Even third class
Okay.
students even gain international scholarship. So despite the fact of it is only meant for some set of people. Even as far you have your undergraduate
Results.
result, and then you are able to go through those series of learning, you are eligible for it. Even HND students even get scholarship.
Oh,
And then the thing is that you must first know the school that you are going to. First know the school that you are going to. And then number two, meet with people that have worked through that path before. See, let me say, experience is the best teacher. There are some people they've made the mistake already. They've walked through that path and then they can easily guide you to where you're going. Some of us we don't know even know where we are going. Trust me. But we
that's the
can see
point.
from those people's light what they've done, where they've what they've done, and then how are they able to manage those things. And then about that exam, I think there are like three exams that some school don't require all this exam, why some still required it. We have like IELTS, we have like TOEFL, we have like GRE, we have like
IGMBL is part two.
IGMB, we have like Duolingo. And then we have some countries that are based on language. Maybe like if you are going to German, if you are, and then there are some scholarship that they are like foundation scholarship. I will still speak on that, and then I will speak
Okay.
about code emails too.
Okay.
There are some scholarship that if you are applying, you just have to reach out to some professors, lecturers in the schools, and you ask about it, and you say that you are interested in their research, and then you meet up with them and you register in the school, and then maybe you can apply for foundation that can sponsor the scholarship. And some people, some school have scholarships available for people, indigent students or people that are outside of those countries to come and study. I think it's only Nigeria that don't that people don't come down
So,
from other countries to come and study like that. But in other countries like European countries, they encourage that a lot. That gives their school a standard
yes, and an edge.
globally. So when we are talking about that exam, IELTS, I think is a English proficiency exam, and then it has let me say grade. I think above 6.5 or something is can take you to anywhere, can make you to enter, meet some criteria if you are able to get 6.5, and it deals with speaking skills, your learning skills, your hearing and
And
everything like
writing.
that. So for those exams like that, and TOEFL, and so there are some ones that are particular to your field of studies. We that we are agreed, you have to do graduate record exam, you have to do like GRA and something like that. Those things are some things that will give us or leverage us for opportunities. So, and then when we are talking about, there are some like foundations like that. We have like Erasmus scholarship,
Master class.
master class, and everything like that. Those are scholarships that people can check into and people can learn about some of those processes online. And one thing I like about this our era is that we can learn anything from this internet, the YouTubes, the Instagrams, and everything. And you can follow people that you know that they are in your line. I know about 10 people that even when I wake up early in the morning, I check their status, I check what they post, I check their LinkedIn and
Exactly
everything, so that I can be aware of things that are
what's
going on
going
in my
on.
environment. And then something is that opportunities don't come for those that are waiting for it. It's only for those that are prepared.
Okay,
So
and
you
those
have
are
to prepare
skilled.
for it. So it's not about when you just when the opportunity comes that you have to start doing it. Even as you're an undergraduate, I heard of somebody that got a Ramos scholarship when he was still an undergraduate for MAC ABT. And that is something that other even undergraduates, even as you are a finalist, you can actually look into that thing too. So please don't what I always tell people is that don't limit yourself. Even if you don't meet the requirements now, still keep on working on it. And then by the time those things come, you will be part of people that will enjoy the benefit.
Thank you so much for that. And one aspect I would love to include in those scholarships is most of those scholarships now, DAD, Erasmus Mundus, Masterclass, all of them like that. One thing that they are now including in part of their requirements or criteria is like someone's contribution to the community or leadership, especially that of Masterclass now. You know, they also deal with more of okay, if you have held leadership position before or you've done some community work before. And I think if you are truly interested in getting scholarship abroad, you should also work on leadership capacity and community development because it also boosts or increase your chances of being
Sure, sure,
selected for the
sure,
scholarship.
sure,
So
sure.
thank you so much for that. If I don't ask you this question, it's going to be an evil from my side because knowing you as an academically occupied student, so as one of the top, if not even the top, the best in your department, I know you are one of the top in our own set, this 500 level. So I would love you to share with particularly those who are seeing their lower levels your study tips, how you get to read to be able to assimilate better and to then to write properly in exam to have your current CGPA that you have because I know you to mention is on the first class. So I want you to share your study tips or academic guidelines with people in lower level. You can take your time on this.
Okay, I'll just share one of few things. Is that um, glory be to God on how He has set me academically, and then I'll shout out to some set of people that when I came into the land of Funab, I was the first hostel I stayed in. People that are there are academically giant people. I think the least person in that college was in our hostel
That
that
room.
time was on 4 points. So it gave me a platform that I need to do better.
Yes, yes.
I
I
need to
was
do
not
better. And
doing
then
less.
the thing is that I never restricted myself to maybe this is the best I can go. this is the best that I have. Even when I hear people talk about their difficulties, or even when I hear seniors talk about
Maybe
their
that's the
challenges in
that
some
the particular
courses,
course is harsh. I don't want to be
I
this
don't
hard.
want to listen to some of those things. I
Yes.
just pick out few points in what they've said, and then I will work with it. And then one thing I try to do every semester, in the beginning of the semester or in the beginning of the section, I will look at every of those courses and I will go and meet with people, seniors ahead of me. What can you say about this course? What are the challenges you face? What are the things you've come out and encounter with? What is the attitude of this lecturer? What is their attitude to work? What is their attitude to grading exam? You know, there are some lecturers that their practicals, their assignments, their let me test,
Attendance.
attendance and everything are some of the factors they use to consider some things. They can include it in some of their grading. So I don't take even some of those things for granted. I make sure that I fulfill all righteousness, and then every other things that I need to do, I put it into place. And then one thing I have learned to do is that I learn to start early every semester. I've listened to people's ideas, people's struggles, then I begin to secure notes and past questions. Okay, these are the things that is required of me to join this race. And then I begin to start early. At least this is one thing I do from week one to like week four of the semester. I try to write notes, get familiar with the courses even before the lecturer starts taking some of those parts, and then I get familiar with it. And then maybe like around 4 to 8 week or something like that, I play a lot. I engage in politics, I engage in this, I engage in that, and then I still keep on with my academics. Not as vibrant as first week or to fourth week, but I still keep myself in check on my academics. But when it came to like 8 weeks, 9th week, I begin to drop some of those acts. I begin to restructure myself to filling that gaps that I've made. I begin to ask people, do you have this? No, I have friends that will work together, friends that are academically inclined. Because see, there are some journeys that you cannot walk alone. There's nobody, a tree does not make a forest. Even your academic journey requires some people to help you. Even I can give that shout to my department. Even some of them have reached out to some people when I'm in some certain troubles or some certain things that I need to take care of myself. So, and friends that I can rely on based on that. So I begin to start reading as early as possible. I'm not too proud to ask anybody to teach me. I'm a very teachable person. I walk up to people, please, I don't understand this thing. Please put me through. Please, do you have this note? And what does this lecturer discuss in class? Even when I'm not in class, I keep myself in check so that by the time even they teach some certain parts, there are some certain things that you will not find in a note,
Yes.
that you will find it in people's jotting. So I make sure I call 3 to 4 people, I will collect their notes, I will compile it together, and then I make my own point out of it. So I use their brain to make my own part, and then I try to understand question when I'm in exam o. And I took my time to understand. I don't rush. Even in CBT, I don't look at the question. When log in, I look at the question, I look at the time, and then I begin to structure myself. Okay, by this time, I should have answered 20 questions. Though I don't rush, but I make sure that I make time my guide, and then I read questions and digest, so that every question that I answer, I make sure I understand it and I give proper answers. And the thing is that don't summarize answers for lecturers. Some of them want to hear you know what you have, and then they are happy when they see that they taught you and you are able to give
Give them.
give them that quality of what they've offered you. So that is something that lecturers are actually interested in. And one thing that I learned or I caught on in 500 level is that, see, my first line when it comes to written, my first 10 lines of writing, I make it robust. I make it something that will interest the lecturer to want to read. And then the middle part, I might be a
Yeah,
little bit just
you play with words.
attach, and then my final conclusion, I make it so much something that they want to award me mark. So by the time you read my work in the beginning, some lecturers will not want to go to the end of the middle of the lecture. They say that this guy has something up here, and then they want to read your conclusion. And then by that they give you straight mark, and that has helped me to earn more marks even in place of academics. So I sometimes I create a structure for myself that guide me, a habit of academics excellence. And then number two, I speak to people before I start anything. And then I begin to organize myself. I begin to organize my notes and everything, and then I put it in action. And then I move with friends that would help me that I have to keep myself in check. Sometimes you can lie to yourself that you are
Yeah.
doing the right thing and you are not doing the right thing. So you have people that can tell you that, bro, you are not doing the right thing, and that has helped me. That I have people around me that can tell me, and I have people that remind me that, okay, please, guy, you cannot fail. Even sometimes I don't read, and then I will have people that will come up to you that I say, oh, to career now, oh, to career now, and then they will tell me that come and teach me, and
I
then
think
because
it's
of
exactly
because of that,
that's one of
and
the
the
things
one
that
thing in
push
FUNAB is
one.
that everybody don't read. Everybody have not covered up. But
Until
sometimes you have
exam.
to go extreme to help people. Like, helping people academically to have helped me. Because when
Yes,
I teach
yes,
people, when I
yes.
begin to get better, and when I'm explaining, I begin to get even
Some point
things
that you've
that,
missed.
so that has actually helped me too in my place of academics.
Okay, thank you so much for that beautiful guideline. And just to recap, in case you missed some points, so let me just, he mentioned that you should start early. Please start early so that when the semester is moving towards an end, you can even be free. Not that you now start rushing towards the end of the semester or towards the exam. He also mentioned that you should move with friends who can motivate you academically. Then seek for enlightenment. Do not be too proud to ask for what you don't know. Do not be too proud to ask for what you don't know. Ask people what is this about. Ask the seniors, ask your colleagues, seek for past question, notes and things like that. Then when you want to answer question in exam, understand the questions very, very well. And please, you mentioned something that I really love, and I think I will also start to incorporate that, which is your the introduction and the conclusion aspect of it. Trying to, and you had a very great point with that. That some lecturers will just want to read the beginning, and once they read, they feel like they want to go to the conclusion. So if you make the introduction and conclusion so interesting and so full of points, it will really really earn one a very good mark. So I think you also wanted to say
And
something.
the last thing that I will put into that is that, one thing I don't do when it comes to exam time is that I don't maybe work or anything, even business or anything. I put it all aside and I focus on my academics. And something is that, please always save. Save for
Save.
raining days. It's
Okay,
not
okay, okay,
raining
okay,
days
okay.
per se, but when it comes to exam time, please save before exam time, so that those money you want to enter school, you want to print past question, you want to print notes, please, those money that you have saved, you can go back to it and then use that. And sometimes don't be drinking garri or eating jugs
During
when it comes to
exam,
exam.
exactly, you
I
have
see
to eat.
students making that mistake a lot,
You have to eat.
drinking minerals and
And now during
everything to
exam,
go to
it's
exam.
unhealthy to the brain. I find it very difficult trying to let people understand why they need to sleep better. In fact,
Better,
I sleep better during the exam period,
sure.
because I know that I have to rest this brain, because he is the one who is going to serve me in the exam hall. Like some people who read overnight, yes, of course there are some people who can read overnight and still not feel it, but I can never do that because I need to rest my brain. I will sleep throughout the night, and that is why where early preparation, just like you mentioned, comes in. So if you prepared before, you'll have enough time to rest and
Know
to
yourself,
eat very
know
well and
who you
please
are.
know yourself. Thank you so much, Samwise. Now let's talk about something critical, and which is your you contesting as the Senate President of the Student Representative Assembly. What many expected, and if I can say, the moves that you also been making are in lines towards deputy senate president, that everybody already believe that Samwise is going to contest for deputy senate president. But then one afternoon, midnight, ọ̀sán kan òru kan, just see that Samwise is no longer contesting for deputy senate president but senate president. And rumor has it that you were being cajoled by some stakeholders in the department and pinpointing towards one particular person who I will not be mentioning, so that they cajole you to contest for the senate president with series of excuses and things like that, and then you also fell for that and you contested for the senate president, but then you did not win, you lose. So what can you say about that?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me correct that dispute first. Is that first thing, saying deputy senate president, my goal was to go for senate president, even right from 300 level. But in a person or journey of life, you must stay back and then look at things. Trust me, sometimes you don't have to be the fourth person to even make decision. I think, and one thing that held me back as a person that not contesting for the senate president was first thing that I learned after the election was that money. I thought money was all. Money was all because coming from a very humble background, you have to have money to do this thing and everything. And one thing I will always say that please try as much as possible not to be poor.
Not to be poor.
Poor in life. Try as much as possible because it will affect your intellectual thinking.
Exactly.
It will affect
Your reasoning.
many of
A
the
lot of
plans and everything that you have. And I think that is one thing because I remained silent during the first week of election. So people was like, it's coming for deputy senate president, it's coming for senate president, and I'm somebody that I love planning very well. I love planning. I even before I do, you see that some of the words I've said, I said that I like to plan, I like to that. So I was staying back to plan some of my things before I do some of the things I have to engage in. And the second thing is that I was so much engrossed in some of the things that I was currently at mini campus then as ICJCF for my church as a representative for mini campus for an executive. So I was not so much available in school. From Friday to like Sunday, I will always be in mini campus. So that availability and me to show up was not really available for me. So some of those things keep me very restricted even to moving up with people. And then people was like he was going for senate president, he was going for deputy senate president. So people want you to believe something. If people don't have answer, they will give answers.
Definitely.
And the
Yeah,
reason
so
why,
you come
because
up
I
with
didn't give
stories.
answers to so many people's questions that time, people started concluding and people started making decisions for themselves. And that is the error that I had to correct when it was time to release my intent, my
Okay.
declaration of intent. So that is
So it
it.
was not like some stakeholders.
No, it was not like
Uh,
stakeholders. But you know that in college you have to reach out. That's one thing I always say, that you have to reach out to people that have gone ahead of you. Ask for them. How did they feel? How did they pass? How did they able to maneuver through some certain things? Then they can give you insight, they can give you structures, they can give you things that you can learn from them. See, the thing is that one thing that people don't know is that people don't want to learn. You don't want to sit down at even people's name. Even I know the disciples of Jesus have to come down to Jesus' feet to learn some of the things of the kingdom. And when Jesus left, they are able to carry some of those things. They are able to carry some of those things, and they could even perform better than when they are with Jesus. So even learning from people that have gone ahead of you is a very additional thing to
so
you.
that's so. Do you regret contesting for the Senate president?
I never regret contesting for instance because I learned from my failure. See, the thing is that somebody that did not learn from defeat will never have will always regret it. But when you learn from your failure, it will help you to know how to live your life.
So then,
And
what are some of the few things that that election, that experience has taught you?
okay, one thing I have talked about, one stereotype, that money is not everything.
Yes.
Trust me. Just push out. People are ready to hold you on to you when they know about the kind of impact that you can make and the quality of things that you can do. I had a lot of people that are calling to me that Samuel, and then I have to hold on to the others. And even when I think during our presentation and everything, almost like five people come and meet me and that Samuel, we really love what you said, we really love, that feedback alone
Yes,
was
it's
something
something.
of joy to me. Trust me. And then number two, plan ahead. I planned very late, and that was one thing that prompted some of the little mistake I made because I was planning closer to some of those deadlines. So I will give it to even somebody that is coming out of politics or anything. Please plan as early as possible, and then keep relationship. I think that is one issue that I had, is that even though I know many people, but even to attend to some certain people, check up on them or something, because of the engross of the activities that I have, even the only thing that I do when I meet people, I greet them, I associate with them and everything like that. But just to enter their DM,
Yeah.
hello, how you doing? It's been a long time. How you doing? Some of those things I learn it the hard way when I lose the election, that I have to keep up with people, keep that relationship, even and past leaders too. Past leaders, they have a lot of contribution in election. They have though I will not speak about some parts, but I will say that to reach out to some of them, keep them in check and talk to them, express yourself to them, let them know. So I think
Okay.
that's some of the things that I've learned. And then have a mentor that can guide you throughout life issues. It will really go a long way in your life, and have spiritual friends too. I think I before the election, I know what I see, I know what I've experienced, I know what I've, and then I thank God I'm still standing today.
To let's quickly bringing this to an end. So I would love you to, what are some of your, the things you regret doing or not doing, whether academically or in some aspects of this uni life, that you regret not doing or doing, that you could have helped you better in your journey on campus?
Thank you very much. I think
Let's just limit it to three.
one thing that I regret most, or it's not that I regret most, but I'm still trying to I'm correcting those mistakes now. Is that skills? Please, when you are on campus or before you come to campus, try as much as possible to have a skill. Try as much as possible to have something that you know to do and people know you for. And don't be afraid to let people know you for what you are doing. It's a very big opportunity to know you and you're doing something like this. Let people know you for something that you are doing on campus. So I think that's one thing. I've moved all around like this, and now leaving school, I know that I have to have something like it. It's not only academic progress that is demanded in the world. You also need some other aspect to keep you in check. So and then skills, and then number two in academics is that please and please give it all your best. Give it all your best. I think one thing that I regretted so much is that I learned so hard is that even when I saw my results, sometimes I don't rectify courses. I just put it like that, that this is what I've done and this is the result I've gotten. So I've never rectified courses that okay they will now increase my B or C to D. I don't do that. So I keep those things. No, it makes my story even more sweeter. So that you do not look like I've not faced some challenges before. I've also walked through some challenges. There's no result that somebody has not encountered is this with that I've not had. It's only F. I've not had a carryover. But I've had E, I've had C, I've had D. But sometimes please take use of that leverage. It is a leverage for those that are coming on board. And then please and please stay true to your God. Know your God. Contribute to Kini. See, don't take out the place of God from your journey. I think it has something that has helped me so far in life and even to now. Don't take God out of it and don't take people out of it. Help people as so much.
That was solid. That was solid. This all. So I want us to talk about the most important aspect of our journey on campus, which is the final year research project. So I want you to walk us through what your final year research project is all about.
Okay, majorly my final year project deal with one of the biggest problems that photo production is facing currently over globally. When I mean over 13 billions of naira or $13 billion is wasted or is being consumed throughout this problem, which is coccidiosis. Coccidiosis, which is caused by a protozoa called Emeratinella, and this coccidiosis has like seven varieties. So we are working on Emeratinella, how the innate immune system of an animal can fight against some of those things. And then we are working on some certain genes that can produce some cytokines that will fight against it.
Oh.
So particularly, I'm working on. I've had opportunity to write almost like four write-ups on my project. So I'm on my fourth topic. That was a
That was massive. That
So-
is even massive. Not
and
small.
then being a group leader of over 27 other members has actually taught me a lot of things. So I'm currently working on effect of breed and sex on the intestinal morphology of broiler chicken challenged with Emeratinella.
Okay.
So I'm working on three different breeds, which is COP 500, Aboika, and then Funabafa. So the thing is that I'm comparing our local indigenous breed with two exotic breeds, how their intestinal morphology can help them in fighting against
malaria.
malaria. So that is basically what my research is all about.
It's even interesting. We getting to have a conversation like this and understanding it in our 100 level, 200 level. If lecturers are talking about something like this, or even if our senior are talking about something like this, it always seems like an abstract concept to us. It seems like magic. What are they doing? But now we are now having that conversation, and we could understand it. We could know what this is. This is what we are really doing. It's really, really true. Amazing. Thank you so much, SAMWISE. I really appreciate
Thank you,
you for coming. Thank you so much. It's nice having you on this
Thank you
show.
very much.
I will implore you to, if you can, watch this episode again, because I believe there are some points you will have missed from the beginning, that until you watch it the second time that you will get it. Thank you so much for watching. That has been an amazing section with Samuel Olamide Ismaila, popularly known as SAMWISE. This is Last Days in Uni, and I am Abdulhamid Alabi Adeyemo, an exceptional masterpiece of alcoholic, the best of creators. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.